the weekend that we were recording, I actually was in the hospital from complications with a miscarriage. Of course, I was just so sad to miss this experience with the guys. But the documentary also kind of gave something to me then, because this experience that I wasn't a part of, I've kind of got to be a fly on the wall and see what they all did. I think it's actually the reason why we ended up recording Blue. We weren't originally supposed to record that. They knew I was obviously having a tough time, and they sent me a message and they said, we got a surprise for you. And they sent me the rough recording, and I was like, oh my God, they did. It was really cool that they did that.
Today on Loves Music, I have Katie O'Donnell from the band Stella Ruze. Stella Ruze, I thought was a folk band. It turns out they are anything but. On their third album, Origin, what I believe to be an absolute masterpiece, they blended sounds of funk, folk, New Orleans jazz, classic rock, a touch of R&B into a fantastic album. My conversation with Katie is interesting. She talks about balancing motherhood and also being in this incredible band. I enjoyed myself. I hope you'll enjoy it too. Up next, Katie O'Donnell. Katie, thank you so much for joining me on Loves Music. You are just coming off a killer performance at Johnny Brenda's in Philly. So this is a week after that performance. By the time this airs, it'll probably be about a month after that performance. But you and your band, tore the roof off of that place. Funny story for you. You guys started going into, we were sitting at the bar. And for those of you who've never been to Johnny Brenda's, the bar has like a low ceiling and then it opens up into the area where the performers are. So I'm sitting there and this band starts breaking into this cover of Black Submarine. And I turn to my wife and I was like, is this that Black Keys song? my wife looks over and she goes, yeah. And I love her dress.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It was awesome. But yeah, you guys are a killer band. And I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today.
Thank you. We had such a good time on Sunday, man. Like I feel like I'm still tired from it in the best way. Mm-hmm. It was such a great time. And I felt like so many people in the Philly scene came out, which was, it's so fun. It was like a big party, big family party.
You could have had a mini music festival with just the people in the crowd. There was so much talent in that room that night, right?
Really was.
Absolutely.
Really was.
So your set was killer, right? And I made the mistake of assuming, I'm like, all right, in my head, I'm thinking folk band. So they bring their heavy hitters, they play the heavy hitters live. And then when I hear the album, it'll be like kind of like just more traditional folk, Lumineers, Old Crow Medicine Show, Iron and Wine along. Boy, was I wrong. Your album has like such a diverse blend of genres. It's like folk by way of like New Orleans jazz with R&B, with songs that sound like they could be Huey Lewis, with songs that could be a Guster song. Like Pinch of Salt sounds like a Guster song. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I actually have a Guster connection, which is funny.
Do you really?
My brother tour manages for them.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I've actually gotten to take my daughter to some of the shows and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think Ganging Up on the Sun is on the low, one of the best alt rock albums ever.
Oh, that's so awesome.
I like love Guster. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
So that's how I would explain your sound. I can't, but that's how I would try to explain it.
And you know what? That's kind of what we run into all the time. You know, it's like when people say like, oh, what kind of band are you in? I'm like, it's a little bit of everything.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like when you classify it, I think it's on Apple Music as just alt rock. But what is like, how do you explain your sound? If a stranger walks up on the street and is like, yeah, what kind of band are you in?
I always kind of just say we're like folky funk.
Okay,
because I feel like, especially in a live setting, we dip in and out of like the chill folk boy girl vocal stuff, and then clearly, as you heard when you listen to some of the recordings, we've got longer songs and some jams and the horns and everything and solos all over the place. So it's a little bit of everything, something for everyone.
Absolutely. There's something that your band does, which I love, is you let your tracks breathe a little. Right?
Yeah.
Like you're not scared to just leave these long spaces. Like there's 9 tracks on Origin, and I think it's still like 55 minutes of music.
Yeah, I think part of that came, like, we've been together now for 10 years. And, you spend a lot of time, especially in your younger band years, like trying to write that next hit. Brendan Johnson, the singer and guitar player, he writes a lot of the songs. A lot of times he'll bring us a song, and then everyone will kind of put their piece to it, whether it's, the drums, the different, piano lines and things like that, or the harmonies. We kind of build it a little bit together. And you spend a lot of the time in the beginning trying to, write a radio hit or something like that, where, you got to write this short little song that's going to get played. And I think now that we're all kind of in a little bit of a different place in our lives, I think it just became more about like, what are we enjoying doing? How's this song? Like how people seem to really like it live, even though it's long. So like, why not just record it and do it for ourselves kind of thing,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it feels like a no-brainer, right? If they're responding to the longer arrangement, why would you microwave it in the studio when your fans are like pleading for this like masterpiece ensemble that you performed live?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where do the different styles come in? Like, there's a clear like one at a time, right? So there's a clear infusion of like of a New Orleans thing. Like you hear it in like the offbeat drums and a few tunes. You hear it in the horns. Did you guys have like a background there? Because there's definitely like a New Orleans thing happening.
Our original keyboard player, Mason, he was a huge Grateful Dead guy, and he spent a lot of time playing in like jazz bands and stuff like that. And so did our trumpet player. And so I think that they kind of had a little bit of that background, just given how they developed because they went to school for music and stuff like that. And then, we add saxophone into it, and it kind of just ends up lending itself to that sound just because of the instrumentation we have going on. And it also, I think, is just kind of a test to the talent that some of those guys have. Like when we start off a song, like if we have a very stripped down, Brendan just playing us a guitar part he's got. And a lot of the times he will have ideas in his head for like horns things. And it's kind of like things just jam out and develop a little bit. And, we might play a live show where the horns do something and we're like, yeah, let's do that again. That was really cool. Or that was a moment. Or like a killer keyboard solo, things like that. Like, it's just like, give a space for everyone to shine a little bit, I think.
Okay. And that improvisation is happening live in the studio, or are people kind of doing it on their own and then just bringing the part in later? Are you guys just like all in the lab, like cooking this thing, like one big bowl of gumbo?
I think, especially in the time leading up to the recording, I think there was a lot of rehearsal time spent and then some of these songs we'd been playing for a long time. Like Pass That Bottle is a song that has existed for a while, but it took a while to develop into what it is now. Like it started off, it was a much stripped down version of what it is now. And it's one of those songs that like one of those times we had fun with and we were like, ooh, that's the way let's keep working with this and make it a little bigger or funkier kind of and build it that way.
Absolutely. It's like it can function in like any genre. One song, which I mean, hit me in the feels. You have a song where you are shining on it. It's called Blue. Mm-hmm. And I listen to that and I'm like, Alicia Keys could chart with this song. It's almost like an R&B tune.
Yeah.
Simple. It's like I feel like artists are so afraid to just sing the song. Mm-hmm. It's still dynamic, but like there's no like huge like crazy runs or anything. It's just concise. The tone of your voice is like sneaky powerful. It comes on whispery, and then by the end of the song, you're like, she's kind of killing it. Like
Thank you.
The subject matter is like it starts off. I thought it was a happier song, but there's almost like a sense of longing in it as well. So I'm like, am I supposed to be upset right now, or is this like a happy tune? Can you please give me like the story behind that song? I love that song.
Oh, thank you so much. It's really sweet. So this song was super special because it's the first song that I actually got to write for the band. So how it kind of came to be was Ted, our bass player, had the guitar part for it. And he was kind of like, listen, I've got this song, and he played it for us. And I said to him, hey, can I take this home? I want to write something for this. I don't know what it was. I just was like, and that night I went home and I wrote the whole thing out. And I knew that he had mentioned when he had the guitar part in mind that he just had like, I think he had lost his father-in-law, and he had just that in mind as he wrote the guitar part. And so I took that in mind with other people's stories of loss in our band. And I was like, and that's kind of what I put into it. So it is interesting because I think you can connect with it in different ways. It can be, loss of love, loss of a person, loss of things like that. So that's kind of what I went for with it. And anytime I write anything, I'm always a little bit of like I like to tell a short little story. I love playing with words. And so I was really happy to be able to share that because I hadn't really done that before. And so it felt like a new power unlocked a little bit.
Absolutely. And something that's very difficult too, it's clever, but still accessible. Like sometimes I usually get one or the other. There's people like say like a Springsteen who just like gives you the message, puts a bow on it. Like it's like, here's what I'm trying to say. And then there's some people that'll kind of like weave like the word play, and there's plays on words there and call back to things you said earlier in the song, but it's still just like very direct and accessible. And you just, by the time you're done the song, you're just like I need a minute. Give me a minute.
I really appreciate that.
If you were to do a solo album, what would Katie's solo album sound like?
It would be stacked with harmonies. That is like my favorite thing ever. That's honestly my favorite thing about when we go to the studio is I can finally show everyone like what's in my head all the time, because I can sit there and kind of stack it up. So I would say it would probably be, I love sad girl music, as I like to call it, like just a really sweet story, kind of chill with lots of harmonies. That's kind of my, which is so the opposite of what our band does. So it's you can't sit still when you listen to your band. It's like all upbeat. Yeah. So you really like the sad girl harmonic music. Would you be dipping your toe into like the R&B pool? Because you have a very soulful voice. Oh, that's so cool. I don't know. I've never really thought about that before, I guess, because I just never. I can feel that sometimes when we do certain songs with the band that I can feel a little bit more of like a soulful side coming out. I guess I didn't really know I had either. So
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I guess wherever the mood leads you.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah. So take me back to the beginning. Now you're in Pennsylvania now. Were you always from this area?
I am, yeah.
Okay. What high school did you graduate from?
Upper Marion in King of Prussia.
Yeah. All right. So you're on the main line. So take me back to when you first. The moment that like you heard music and you knew that it was something special in you, whether it was church, whether it was Disney, take me back to your earliest memory of hearing music and being impacted by it.
So my dad plays guitar. And so my dad was always listening to good music. He was a big Led Zeppelin and Beatles guy. So we always had the Beatles playing throughout the house when we were little. It was like a mix of the Beatles and then like show tunes. It was kind of a good balance of, I felt like I got exposed to a lot of different genres as a kid, very young. Like I just remember dancing around the house to Led Zeppelin songs as like in diapers, like with my siblings. And then we were all pretty musical. My family used to do the music at our church growing up. So we would sing, and I played violin, and my brother played violin too. So we would all people used to joke and call us like the Von Trapp family from The Sound of Music, because we would just all go up and play a different part. So it was always a big part of our childhood.
Now, when did you decide that you wanted to take it a little bit more seriously with the band? Were you doing things by yourself? Like basically the space between high school and now? Like what were you doing in there musically?
So it was after high school that I started to teach myself guitar and get into that. And then once I was confident enough, then I started to go and play out at, open mics and things like that. I used to play at a lot of places because I lived in Manayunk for a long time. So I'd play at some of the different bars there, or the different, little outdoor things they would have. And that's actually how I met Brendan, because he was playing at McGillicuddy's in Manayunk. And a friend of mine knew that he was looking for a female vocalist to sing with. And so I showed up at one of his sets at Cuddy's, and I jumped up and joined him for a song. And we were kind of like, okay, we should do this again. Like, this is fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that was 10 years ago, you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were babies then.
Yeah. Right. So you started as a quartet, like I said, and now I think there's 7 pieces or 6.
It varies a little bit. It started as started as the 4 of us. And then we added like drums and bass, and saxophone. So I guess usually now we're like a 7-piece. Yeah. Right.
So what something else you did that was really cool is people are starting to get a lot more creative with their album rollouts. Like Drake did this like weird like live streaming mini movies thing, and the band The Neighborhood did all this like cool black and white stuff, little pop-up shop with merch and stuff. People are doing really cool things. And what your band did for Origin did that like almost like a documentary thing where everybody got to speak, and it was really well produced, really well organized. It had a lot of heart to it. It wasn't so overproduced. It felt like a movie. It felt like you were just kind of in the room with the guys while they were, just chefing up songs, which I thought was really cool. Can you talk to me a little bit about that, or your decision to make a documentary leading up to the music or that album rollout?
Yeah, I think for us, because we've all been in this for so long, it felt like it was something we were doing kind of for us, really, to document the process and to, for anyone interested to be able to share it with them. And they did a wonderful job. It was Skylar Jenkins and then Brendan's brother, actually, they helped us to do that video. And of course, it was nice because we felt so comfortable with them. We could kind of open up. And I think it became a lot deeper than anyone anticipated. I think everyone really was just feeling it. And, it's noticeable in the documentary that I am missing from the recording process. And so what happened was the weekend that we were recording, I actually was in the hospital from complications with a miscarriage. So it was a wild experience because, of course, I was just so sad to miss this experience with the guys. But the documentary also kind of gave something to me then, because this experience that I wasn't a part of, I kind of got to be a fly on the wall and see what they all did. It was tough to not be a part of course. But it really, from my side, I felt so much closer to everybody because they were all so supportive and so understanding. And it just became something, it kind of became a little, I think it's actually the reason why we ended up recording Blue, because we weren't originally supposed to record that. And they knew I was obviously having a tough time, and they sent me a message and they said, "We got a surprise for you." And they sent me the rough recording, and I was like, "Oh my God, they did." It was really cool that they did that. And it was one of those things where you're like, you know what, that was the time that it was meant to be recorded. And that was the time it was meant to go out. And then it just became it became a special thing.
Yeah. And well, first off, I mean, it's your resiliency to, get back and record music again after that. I mean, I can't even imagine what that would feel like. So I'm sorry you had to deal with that. But secondly, I mean, that song's contribution to that album is almost like the reprieve that takes the album from like really good album to perfect.
Oh, thank you.
The songs are still very diverse, but then I think Blue is fourth or fifth on the track list. So it's like right there in the middle. So you have this like breath of like almost this like intermission with this like angelic like just break in like the action, and then you get you guys get right back to it afterwards. But people win Grammys for albums like that. And it's the third album too. So anybody looking at the catalog, there's one, The Greater Dog, and help me out with the first album.
So there's Open, it's before that, and then The Greater Dog, and then Origin.
Right. Okay. And Origin's the third, and you can tell too because the instrumentation is sophisticated and still really good on all three albums, but finally I think the engineering catches up to the talent on the third album. So it's like, oh, this is good. And then Origin is like, put a bow on it.
I mean, what was so cool for what they did in Origin too is that they all live tracked in a room together, because we kind of felt like, we go out and play these live shows and we feel this, we feel like, oh, this felt really good. This was a good moment. Mm-hmm. And then, you go into the studio and you're in separate rooms and you're kind of piecing everything apart. So I think that was really important to everyone to try to let's try to capture the live sound as best we can with as many of us as there are. So, yeah. And I think it worked.
Well, you were also talking about too, it's something that you touched on earlier. Is you talk about like at this stage of your career is like almost like your goals with the music kind of change, like your perspective changes, And I think there's like a grace in that. Because I know for every musician that's in like a really good headspace like you, there's another dozen musicians that are like, didn't work out for me, and they're bitter and they're angry and they're upset. And like, I mean, I have friends that didn't even come do the podcast because they're like, I don't even like talking about it. I'm like, dude, you have this huge body of work. And they're like, yeah, man, I'm just like, music broke my heart, I'm being hyperbolic, but that's basically what they mean, So can you speak to the difference of perspective when, you're in that first year and you're like, we're going to change the world. and then you're in year 10 and I'm like, look, man, maybe see if we can get booked at Union Transfer. We'll see.
Literally. Yeah. I think what happened with us is that we had an awesome album release show of The Greater Dog at the beginning, January 2020. Mm-hmm. And so then we had all this momentum, and then COVID hits and live music is just, and during that time, that's when I had my first son, and Brendan had a kid a little bit after. Mason, our keyboard player, had a kid. So it was kind of like this shift where everyone was kind of trying to figure out how can we keep this going now in a little bit of a different capacity, because we've got different priorities really. And so I think for me, it became apparent how much I needed it when you're away from it for so long, or whether, because I had my son and daughter back to back. So I was a little bit in and out of the band for a little bit. They they would take shows as much as they could with me. But if I wasn't able to do it, we would get someone to fill in. But then it was like when I would get to those rehearsals or get to those shows, I was like, oh yeah, I still need this. Like amidst mom life, I need this.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would success look like for you now in, say, the short term and the long term? Say the next 3 months and then like the next 3 years?
Any chance we get to play shows, we love it. I love it. Like is it something we can do every single weekend? Probably not with little kids and all that. So I think if we could just keep consistently having, a couple great shows a year, whether we're writing together, even if we, I've thought about if I were to start to write a little bit myself as well, just as something, another kind of itch to scratch. I think as long as music is a part of the moving forward, then I'll be good, Okay. And I think as the new year starts, and we've got one more show left this year, and then hopefully next year we'll kind of reconvene and see if we've got anything new in the works, any new music to write, things that haven't been recorded yet, and see where everyone's at.
Or in the long term, are you just kind of happy on that trajectory? A couple big shows a year. Like, is that just kind of your sweet spot, which is okay?
I'm just along for the ride, whatever it is. If someone rolls through and is like, we love you guys, come open for us. Yes, 1,000%.
Yes,
but if it is just a couple shows a year and doing this kind of thing, that's okay too.
Well, selfishly, I hope you do a whole bunch of shows in Philadelphia that I can
hope
come
so
out
too.
there.
I love playing Philly shows. It's the best.
Yeah. Well, what's your favorite venue to play?
We've been so lucky to have played Ardmore Music Hall a couple times.
That place.
And that is just the best. I mean, it's such a great spot. The sound's always amazing. It's always such a good audience. I would say that's probably one of my favorites as far as places like that.
Do you have any nightmare gig stories?
You know what? Actually, one of the times that we did play Ardmore, we were opening up for a bigger folk band, and within like the first song, my mandolin just like completely whacked out of tune. I don't know why. And at the time, I didn't have a tuner pedal yet. I just had my little clip-on guy, and between all the other sounds in the band, I couldn't get it to work. I couldn't get the tuning back, and I had to just put the mandolin down for the whole set, and it was such a bummer.
Oh, no.
For me, at least, it was a bummer, but it was, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. That could be a little anxiety-inducing. Like,
yeah, it was. Kind of had to, admit defeat. I was like, it's not coming back. I got to just...
So what is your version of a bad day? I mean, we're musicians, we're creatives. A lot of this stuff is hard. It's fun to play music, but a lot of the stuff that goes with it is pretty difficult or time-consuming or stressful. What does a bad day look like for you?
A no-brainer would be like if there's ever any, losing your voice and stuff like that is very stressful because the show's got to go on.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, maybe it's the phase of life I'm in with kids and stuff. It's like it doesn't feel like a bad day, I guess, if I'm getting to play music.
Yeah.
I get to leave, crying and whining behind and kind of jump into a different gear. So, yeah.
I mean, so what are some of the things you might do to like prep for a show, to like kind of like get your mind right, get focused? Because these are pretty elaborate shows, even if they're smaller venues. I mean, you guys have quite a production. We
do. I think practice as much as I can. We try to record our rehearsals a lot, so I'll just go sit in a room by myself then afterwards and play along to the recordings. I will jam out in my car to just sing to kind of loosen stuff up depending on what we're going to be doing that night. So I think just a little bit of that, just kind of trying to loosen up, caffeinate and all that.
Yeah.
Get ready to stay up late.
Yeah, right. It's going to be a long night. So what is something that you feel you're especially good at, or you like a major contribution you bring to the group that nobody else does, or something just like, hey, like if we have to do this, I got it.
I think harmony is just my bread and butter. It's my favorite thing. I harmonize with everything, probably to a fault.
I love the harmonies on Pinch of Salt.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love that blend. Yeah.
And that's like I was saying earlier, like to be able to go in a studio and, record my part and then add other, we'll joke it's like a chorus of Katie's. Because I'll just get to stack stuff up, and then it's also fun because then when we do live shows, I'll work with Alex and we'll assign parts and try to get as much harmony from everybody as we can going in there. So it's fun to kind of share that with the guys.
So the flip side of that coin, what's a skill that you would like to refine? Something that you're like, I wish I was a little sharper at that.
I mean, I would love to be a better mandolin player in general. I kind of started playing it because when we first started out, we actually had two acoustic guitar players, and then I would play acoustic sometimes, and it was like, we don't need this many acoustic guitars. And I had grew up playing violin and mandolin are in the same tuning. So I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. So like I can play it and I can do things, but I wish I could, you have people like, I don't know if you're familiar with the Punch Brothers. We have people like Chris Thiele who are just like, virtuosos. And not that I will ever be a virtuoso, but if I could, get a little bit of polishing there, I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, you do a great job in concert. I mean, it was
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
A little bit of a segue here, right? So you obviously have children. Always like to ask musicians with children this. If your children were adamant about being musicians, how would you feel about that?
Oh, I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I would start my family band tomorrow.
Yeah, right? And when I say adamant, I mean like want to drop out of school to go be a rock star. I mean like really like chase the dream.
I think what I would make sure they do if they really want to do something like that is to make sure that they learn an instrument, learn to read music, learn to kind of polish their craft as much as they can. Like in retrospect now, I wish that I had picked up a guitar earlier, or I wish that I had taken it more seriously to play violin. The skills that I learned in doing that have been so helpful as an adult, and even just the skills I learned doing choir as a kid, that stuff has really helped me. And so I would say to just work at that stuff so that then you can have all the tools you need to do it right, maybe.
That's so funny. Yeah. My dad, killer drummer in a band. Me and my brother both wanted to be musicians. My dad was like, why don't you guys go get jobs? he's like, it's not that you're not talented, but maybe do something a little more lucrative. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe something with a little higher success rate,
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah. So I always like to hear the, and it's funny, like younger musicians with small children are like, yeah, I want them to play. Let them play. And then you hear like older musicians and they're like, yeah, I would kind of hope they went to school and got a trade.
Or maybe I would tell them to do it because you love it. Don't do it for the money.
Right. Yeah. Learn. Yeah, pay the bills and then do music as the fun thing. Yeah, That's funny. Yeah, I don't know, but then people are like, then you hear people and they're like, yeah, well, I only broke through because I had no plan B. So it's like,
true.
what do you? Yeah, so it's like,
you gotta do it.
What's the right answer?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on the kid, like how naturally gifted they are too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you can get good with practice, but I still think you need like a natural gifting as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. If you could give a message to the younger Katie, 12, 13-year-old Katie, what would you tell her?
I would probably tell her to be more confident, I think. Yeah, I think, I don't think any teenage girl feels confident. But I think especially with singing, like I did a lot of theater, but I wasn't like the leads or anything. I was like, like tree number 3 or something, doing background vocals and all that.
Yeah, right. In the ensemble.
Yeah. So I think it took me a while to find what my voice was. Mm-hmm. And I think I felt discouraged a lot. But I think in my 20s, when I started playing out and, getting some feedback and stuff, I was kind of like, okay, this has been there and we can figure this out.
Yeah. So were you shy? Were you introverted? Were you a loner? Did you have like a group,
I think I was a part of lots of groups. Right. That's how I was like a little bit of everything. Cause I did theater. I was in the orchestra. I was in the choir. So like inherently you get a group doing things like that. So I felt like I was like a little bit of everything. That's kind of how I felt. And I have a lot of siblings. I'm one of 5 kids. And so I felt like we all had our group of friends as well. So definitely a little bit more of an extrovert, I think.
Nice.
People person. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So who, like at this period of your life, right, and you're getting into music and you're making the transition into being like a performer. So this is like late teens, I guess, early 20s. Who are some of the women or men, I should say, that kind of inspired you? Like some of the, like your muses, I should say.
There's a couple different girl groups that I just absolutely love because, as I've said, like Harmonies are just the best. So there's this group Lucius I absolutely love. I love the Staves. There's some sisters that sing together. They're lovely. Love the Beatles. I love Boy Genius. Basically, if you're like a girl group, I just love it. I love that kind of stuff. I also really love I love Pine Grove.
Hmm.
Do you know them?
No, not familiar.
They're so good. They're just awesome. That's a guy group, but I'll let them slip in. But they're great. They're great.
Yeah. So what is something about you that we wouldn't find out by looking at your socials?
I'm a big baker.
Didn't see that coming. Yeah. That's surprising. What's your specialty?
I do really good cupcakes and cookies. And like I always tell people, I get a similar, like if you see me sing and you say to me, you know, I loved your voice, I get a similar feeling if I feed you and you like my food.
Awesome.
It's like it's for some reason it's like a different creative side, but I love to bake, to cook.
Well, I think I like cooking too, and I think it's an extension of my creativity. Mm-hmm. You know, do you feel like it's related, or is it like totally not related? You just like baking?
I think so, because it's fun when you can throw a bunch of stuff together and make it taste good. And similarly, if you throw a bunch of stuff together and you make it sound good, that's just as cool. Yeah, right. You know,
this is a season for you right now. I mean, if there's ever a time to be baking, it's like these next like 6-7 weeks.
Oh yeah, and it's fun. It's a fun skill to have with kids, because now I can bring them in and we can all bake stuff together, and we make homemade soft pretzels a lot, stuff like that.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, that's great. Now, are your kids like musically inclined as well? Like, are you starting to see like they're like what they're gravitating to? Are they still too little?
So my son is 5, and ever since he was really little, we've always said he's going to be a drummer, because he's just he hits on everything. And like, I know I'm like his mom, so like, I'm going to say this, but like, we're always kind of like, he's got pretty good rhythm. Like when he like pats along, because we've done a pretty good job about, we really like to play our music for them. We don't like, you know, if they ask for a song from a movie, sure. But like for the most part, we play like regular music for them. So it's really fun to see what they gravitate towards as far as some of the music that we like.
Okay. Like what? Like what do they like? Like what's their go-to?
It's very versatile, which is great. My husband's has like a punk side to him. He likes this Australian band called The Chats a lot.
Oh yeah, The Chats.
And yeah, they're like I don't even know how you describe it. I guess like a punk band from Australia. And my son loves them, and we'll all jam out in the car to them. My daughter right now is really into the artist Ray.
Yeah, she's great.
She loves Ray, and she also loves the songs from Wicked. So.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, it's everybody for sure.
They should roll with those songs. Yeah, like every song is good in that musical. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Funny thing is, music's funny and it's cyclical, right? And like obviously, like the big genres will always be kind of omnipresent, you know. But I always feel like there's a genre that always gets kind of like pushed to the forefront. Like it looked like for the last 4 or 5 years, like country got like a big push. There's still some pop music around there, but like country got a push. Before that, it looked like it looked like hip hop was almost like fully mainstream. You know, you'd hear like trap drums in like a Google commercial. You know, like you know. If you can feel it shifting now, what do you think the next big genre will be in music?
I mean, I think there's almost been like a resurgence of like 90s style pop, I feel like a little bit.
Like, give me an example. Like you're talking like Britney Spears, Timberlake, like boy band stuff?
Kind of, because like you've got like people are loving like I guess it's a mix, because you got like Sabrina Carpenter out there in stadiums doing all that kind of stuff, and that feels very like traditional pop girly stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's because of how accessible everything is now. It's different than when we were all younger, because you get exposed to a lot of different artists. Because like the one I've been hearing a lot lately is Olivia Dean. Yeah, she's got like such a beauty, and her voice is a little more like soul classic kind of thing. It's like a little more retro. So I don't know. It's kind of everything. It's a hard answer.
Yeah, right. Well, music is just so tribal, so you really don't have to like. You don't really have to be like dictated by like the 12 songs they're playing on MTV anymore. Right. You know, like you can literally like, if I like gypsy music from Louisiana played by Democratic women, there'll be a band for you.
There will be 100%.
Yeah, there'll be like a very specific genre, you know, like, so yeah. So it's interesting. It looked like metal was about to have a resurgence. We'll see if that happens. Speaking of, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I think that there's a lot of, like kind of Americana that's become bigger.
Yeah.
Because you've got artists like Sarah Farrell, who's like, I feel like she's everywhere right now.
Yeah.
And she's definitely a lot more of like a classic style, but she's kind of been featured on some more mainstream songs. And
yeah. Well, I feel like that's the ticket too. Like if it looks like you're about to pop, you get the feature to get like your one last push, you know, and then you're on a song that charted, even if you're just on there as like a feature, you know, and then you get the exposure. Then everybody's like, all right, let me see what your full project sounds like, you know, need some more tickets, you know?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. So let's say you did decide to either with the band or yourself do a project. Like who would be like some of the dream collaborators? Like if you could work with like anybody who's like currently doing music, like an industry artist.
I've been really into Madison Cunningham lately.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, she's so wonderful. She's one of those people where you're like, I want to grow up and be you, because she's like a really beautiful songwriter and like an amazing guitar player. So I would love to just like stand behind, like I'll just ooh and ah behind her. Like I'll just give you some little background vocals or something.
Like I'll just do those harmonies. You do your thing.
Just be a little part of it. I think she's doing really cool stuff right now.
Yeah, that's a good one. I got to check her out.
Yeah,
it's like
you'd
the
love
second
it.
or third band you mentioned, like I haven't heard of, which I better get up on my stuff.
I listen to a lot of music. And we keep it. My husband and I are both super into music, and we both have very different tastes, but we like each other's tastes. So we kind of share a lot of that, which is fun.
Yeah, that is good. Well, he talked about the Australian punk thing. Australia has like a great indie music scene.
They do. They do.
Yeah. It wasn't quite on my radar as much. And then like Tame Impala came out. I'm like, they're probably doing something pretty interesting in Australia. And then I would see like all the bands I like would always do like a long stop in Australia. And I'm like, there's something going on over there. Now there's like Rox Ferry, Full Moon, something Full Moon Band. I'm probably butchering their name. But like girl lead singer, just totally like dingy garage rock. But
I love it.
I'm like, this is so good. I'm like, you can watch it with the sound off, the energy like on stage. Full Circle Moon Band, Full Moon, something Full Moon Band.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, I'll send it to you. But yeah, it's interesting. What's the best live show that you've ever been to, and you actually get a chance to take in a band?
I guess more recently, I saw I'm With Her, and they were really wild to watch live, because it's like all three of them by themselves are so wonderful. So to watch them all together was just like beautiful. And they have really interesting harmonies, and they're all really good at the instruments that they play too. So it's like very simple and stripped down, but like so effective and really cool. It's like the room is silent. And I always think that's cool when you can make a room silent.
Yeah, that's really, I'm With Her. Are they like what kind of music?
They're definitely like folk Americana. All three of them, it's three women, and all three of them are solo artists on their own, and then they kind of join together. It's like they're like the folky boy genius.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's how I describe them. Which I also got to see Boy Genius, and that was also an awesome show.
Yeah,
that was it. That was, and now that I'm thinking about it, that was probably one of my favorites, because all three of the girls did a solo set first, and then they joined together, and it was up in New York at Brooklyn Steel. It was awesome.
Oh my goodness,
it was a good night.
That'd be cool. I'd pay just to see Phoebe Bridgers by herself.
Yeah,
you basically got a Phoebe Bridgers set, the other two girls, and you got the Boy Genius album's great, like fun to back.
Oh, I just sat there like, mouth to the floor the whole time. It was great.
Yeah, they're like ridiculously talented. So give me something that you're proud of creatively, and then something that you're proud of that's not related to music.
I think creatively, we've really been able to hit a lot of like bucket list shows for us. We got to do XPN Fest the one year, and that was so special. It was so cool. And like to stand there on that stage, and you have like the whole city drop behind us, and my
breeze
son
coming off the water. Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. And my son was just barely a year old at the time, and he was able to be there. So it was like such a cool thing to experience. And like we all kind of had this collective moment where we all looked at each other like, okay, this is like a moment for us. Like this is, I'd say that's probably I think that's one of my favorite ones that we've done. I was proud of that. And I'm honestly, I'm just proud of our latest album a lot. I mean, we worked really hard, and it felt really collaborative, and it felt cool to share.
Yeah. If somebody would have passed me that album without any pretext, I'd think you were like a Grammy nominated band, like industry band. Like it wouldn't even connect it. Like I could go see you at Johnny Brenda's for like $40.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, that's
like
awesome.
I would just
Thank
think you're
you.
like a stadium filling band that I just haven't heard of yet. Like
Maybe
that's how
someday.
polished that recording is. Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's great. That's
So
awesome.
what is something that you're really proud of outside of music?
I mean, not to be corny, but I feel pretty proud about being a mom. Like
Yeah, it's not corny at all. Yeah.
I nannied for like 10 years before I had my own kids. So
Mhm.
it felt really special to, to finally do that. And I think they're pretty cool little people, and it's a lot of fun. And I always tell people, like, I'm so grateful that I get to still do both, that I can do the mom thing and that I can then, put them to bed and sneak out to a show. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And you do it really gracefully. I think that's the right word as well, too. There's such a genuine joy and professionalism in both the way you carry yourself online, on stage, the way you present as the matriarch of your family, and then like literally stand behind a mic and like you can't take your eye off you once you're on stage singing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Like it gravitates to, like, you're like waiting for you to sing something else, like in between parts. You're like,
that's awesome.
It's a really special thing to watch. If a young lady were to approach you, or guy for that matter, and said, "Hey, I want to get started. I want to be on the same trajectory as you. I want to play intimate shows. I want to be part of a band." What advice would you give them?
I think it's really important, especially when you're starting out, to just like play as much as you can. We've played plenty of gigs where we are shoved into a corner at a place where maybe people aren't even listening to us. Yeah. And I think that stuff's important because that's kind of where you get to play a little bit. Like you get to just try new things and make mistakes, and nobody really knows what a mistake is at that point anyway, if they're listening to you. So I think you kind of just do as much as you can.
Yeah, I meet so many guys, especially like younger musicians, and they're just so reluctant to play bad gigs. I'm like, dude, like in the beginning, a lot of them are bad,
Yeah.
Like I hope they're not, I hope everybody's accommodating and they pay you good and they have great acoustics and you have a full house, but not too crowded. So, like I hope you have amazing gigs. A lot of them are bad, and people like shy away from things that like in situations that aren't very accommodating. And I was like, man, that's where you get your story. That's where you get like your Rocky cutscene,
Yeah.
Like when you watch them like growing and getting ready and like refining their skills. Like that's what those bad gigs are for,
Yeah, like you got to travel in a really crammed van with a lot of instruments, and you got to play anywhere that'll take you.
yeah, that's part of it. Certainly part of it. If somebody were to encounter your music, or they're a fan of yours, or they're hearing you for the first time even, what is, some of the core either messages or feelings you want them to take with them after encountering you or your music?
I think a lot of our music is kind of like joyful. I think it's a lot of fun. It's especially some of the stuff we do live. I think it's meant to be kind of get you moving a little bit. And it's about the kind of atmosphere that we create, I think.
Absolutely. And I know that you said you have a show coming up. Are you referring to the one at Sellersville?
I am. That's our last show of the year. And it's with the Tisberries and Nervous Nikki and the Chill Pills.
First off, I love that name.
It's such a good name.
Such a good name, isn't it?
It's a great name. It sticks with you too. And then the Tisberries are awesome. And we both kind of, because we started in Manayunk as well as the Tisberries. So we used to all be out there, when they would do the Arts Fest and the street festivals, Tisberries would be on one end, Stella Ruze would be on the other end, playing the stages at the shows. So it's, we love those guys. It's going to be so fun to play the show there. That's
awesome. And that's a cool venue too. It's a little steep, you know what I mean? But
it's beautiful.
It's cool. Yeah, it is beautiful ceilings, and it's like a kind of an old fashioned theater. Makes me feel like I was like the theaters you went to like when you were a kid, when you went to go see a play. Yeah.
Feels kind of classic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Sounds wonderful there too.
Yeah, I saw Mark Broussard there in the spring. Yeah, I love that place. Yeah. What's the date on that?
December 20th.
So December 20th, check out the Tisberries and Stella Ruze at Sellersville Theater. Beautiful theater. Parking's not too bad either. I mean, I was just there. Beautiful place. Great place to bring a date, bring kids. All clean music too, so you can bring children to shows like this. Positive, good crowd. Yeah, certainly don't want to miss Stella Ruze because you don't know when you're going to play again after that, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have anything on the books yet. But usually we always kind of, we'll have all the holidays and everything, and then we'll get back together during the winter time, and we'll see what's cooking for the year.
All All right, well, you heard it here first. If you're in the Montgomery County or Bucks County areas, certainly you want to check out Stella Ruze at Sellersville Theater, December 20th. Just in closing, I want to be very clear here. If there was only one way to support you guys, the single best way to do that would be what?
Listening to the stuff we've got out there and coming to shows when you can.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're ever listening and you like something you hear, send us a message. We'll reach out. We'll respond to you. We love hearing from people. We love to hear that something's resonating, or just we love to hear that people are listening to it.
You are prompt. I think I followed you. I think I followed the band, and then I got a response from you like 15 minutes later, maybe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so she's not blowing smoke, folks. It's true. If you want to reach out to Stella Ruze, you're going to get a message back from Katie.
Probably, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but Katie, this means the world to me. Thank you so much for just sharing your life, your time, your art. You do it so genuinely with just so much. You're so much talent, man. It's such like a breath of fresh air to watch people putting out the kind of stuff that you are. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me and our guests here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. I'm glad that you liked it, and it was so awesome to meet you. Absolutely. You as well. Let's do it again soon, okay? Definitely. And the rest of you, thanks for tuning in. New episodes of Loves Music every Thursday at 7 a.m. Eastern. Check us out. And if you like what you heard today, tell somebody who loves music. Take it easy.